morning. Our large audience out there. Good morning. The June 9th board meeting is... Hi. We got caught in the back. The June 9 regular board meeting is being recorded. Anyone wishing to observe the meeting may do so via AVUHSD's YouTube channel. Individuals may take photographs or record meetings, provided the individual's conduct does not constitute a disruption, including obstructing the view of others. B, roll call. Trustee Hernandez. Trustee Sanchez is not here. Trustee Hughes.
Present.
Trustee Mann.
Present.
No student board member, and I am here, Carla Corona. Closed session, public business from the floor, closed session, agendized items. Are there any comments from the public on closed session items?
We don't have any comments at this time.
The Board of Trustees will go into closed session and reconvene the regular meeting at 11 a.m. afternoon. Good morning, it's still morning. The June 9 regular board meeting is being recorded. Anyone wishing to observe the meeting may do so via AVUHSD's YouTube channel. Individuals may take photographs or record meetings, provided the individual's conduct does not constitute a disruption, including obstructing the view of others. Those wishing to address items on the agenda and matters that are not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of AVUHSD Board shall do so in person, complete a speaker form, and give it to the designee before the public comment portions of the meeting. The speaker form must be given to Mrs. Orozco before the board president announces the item. Once the item has been called, we will no longer accept new cards. Mrs. Orozco will call the individual's name to come up to the podium and provide their comments. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. The total time for public input on each item shall be limited to 20 minutes. Non-agendized items are limited to a total time allotment of 20 minutes. Only one person is permitted to stand at the podium at a time. No speaker may relinquish a time allotment to another speaker. The district encourages members of the public to attend board meetings and to address the board concerning any item on the agenda or within the board's jurisdiction. The board does not prohibit public criticism of its policies, procedures, programs, services, acts, or omissions. Similarly, the board does not prohibit public criticism of district employees. Speakers are cautioned that no person is immune from liability for making intentionally false or defamatory comments simply because those comments are made at a public meeting. Attendees are also reminded of the board's civility policy, Board Policy 1313. The civility policy requires that members of the district staff will treat parents and other members of the public with respect and expect the same in return. The district is committed to maintaining disruption-free board meetings. The board will not permit any disturbance or willful interruption of its board meetings. Persistent disruption by an individual or group is grounds to terminate the privilege of addressing the board. Persistent disruption by an individual shall be grounds for the board president to terminate the individual's privilege to address the board. The district promotes mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among district board members, district employees, parents, and the public. The district seeks public cooperation with this endeavor. Next is the Pledge of Allegiance. If we could please stand, Mr. Hughes. PINCO meeting. Public comments from the floor for PINCO items. Are there any comments from the floor on PINCO?
We have no comments for PINCO.
Okay. B, adoption of PINCO budget 26-27. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees adopt the 2026-27 budget as presented. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. C, approve RFP award, U.S. Foods for Broadline Distribution Services for the 26-27 school year. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees authorize PINCO to enter into agreements with U.S. Foods for the 2026-2027 school year as presented. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. D, approve purchase order schedule for PINCO. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve and authorize the purchases outlined on the attached schedule. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have a mic that's not working up here.
Probably don't want to hear from me anyway, don't worry about it.
I could bring walls. that D?
That was D. We already approved.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. 5, reconvene regular meeting. We're reconvening. 6, recognition reports, public comments. A, present local indicator data to the California dashboard for Antelope Valley Union High School District, AVUHSD. Dr. Grado.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam President, members of the board. California's accountability system is based on a multiple measures system that assesses how school districts are meeting the needs of their students. Our Director of Educational Services, Charles Dunn, is here to go over our local indicator data and answer any questions the board may have.
Good morning, members of the board and cabinet. Today I will be reviewing the local indicators for the 2025-2026 school year. These local indicators are our annual district checkup on the conditions that help students learn. They tell us whether the basics are in place, such as qualified staff, materials, safe and clean facilities, family engagement, school climate, and access to curriculum. To begin our presentation, the bottom line is that the Antelope Valley Union High School District has met all 5 local indicated areas with a standard met. The local indicated areas are basic services, state standards, parent and family engagement, school climate, and broad course of study. Evidence that we reviewed were materials, facilities, and teacher assignments. We looked at implementation ratings across all content areas. We had lots of surveys, advisory groups, family engagement structures. We looked at local climate survey and participation trends, and we also examined our A through G, CTE, special education, graduation, and multiple other core evidence for a broad course of study. So what are the local indicators? So think of the local indicators as part of our dashboard. So we have our California dashboard that measures our ELA, graduation rates, college and career indicators, and several other quantitative metrics. The local indicators are what lies beneath. Those are the system that's in place to make sure that our other dashboard outcomes are able to be successful. Think of it like a design of a home. The local indicators are the foundation of the home that everything else is built upon, and you cannot build anything and have success unless you have a strong foundation. There's 8 local priorities that we look at. The local indicators are only the 5. The local indicators timelines helps us keep our process organized, intentional, and connected to our LCAP cycle. We want to collect evidence early to ensure that we use this local data early as our continued growth and efforts as we move forward. The official time frame begins in February and goes through July 1st when we are required to give this presentation to our local board. However, we begin this process yearly. It's a recursive process, so we ensure that we use the data not just in February, we're using it continuously as we're improving our campus and looking areas where we can grow. So priority 1, this is our first local indicator. These are our basic services. So think of the basic services as the HVAC, the plumbing, the electrical work in a house. You can't go into a house and you can't have a nice house with all of these basics functioning. And a lot of times you don't even see these things happening. They're just happening in the background. This reflects our district's commitment to ensuring every student has access to the foundational resources and supports needed to learn, thrive, and be successful in our district. The evidence that we look at are standard-aligned instructional materials available in all core subject areas. We want to ensure that safe, clean, and well-maintained facilities that support student learning, and appropriately assigned and credentialed teachers in all areas, as well as ensuring our counselors are meeting the correct student ratio. And I'm happy to report that we have met this standard with 100% of our courses using district-adopted standards-aligned materials. We have a counselor-student ratio that meets and exceeds our state guidelines. Priority 2 is the implementation of academic standards. Once again, we met the standard. And think of priority 2 as the blueprint that you use to build a home. These are ensuring that the materials are proper and students have access to access to all of the materials to be successful in their classes. The 5 areas that we look at are English language arts, English language development, mathematics, next generation science standards, and history and social science. We have full implementation on all of these areas. Looking deeper, we look at other areas such as policy and program support and instructional materials in those 5 areas. We have met full implementation in the majority of those. We do see some initial implementation. When you see initial implementation and full implementation are pretty much the same, other than initial implementation means it's something that we have put in within the last year or two, or things that we are still developing, but they're in place and functional, but things that we want to focus on and areas for growth. The additional standards we looked at are CTE, health education, physical education, visual and performing arts, and world language. Parent and family engagement is our 3rd local indicator. We met this standard, and this addresses parent input on the decision making. And to go back to my analogy about building a home, these are our front door. These are our big, bright windows that we have. We want to make sure that the windows are big, they're clean, and our doors are wide open. So when families come into our district and our schools, they feel very comfortable in interacting and working with the process. There are 12 components of parent and family engagement, and the district continues to strengthen partnerships through cultural events, knowledge bowls, career fairs, advisory committees, LCAP community events at every single one of our campus, our DLAC, ELAC, parent meetings, school events, and several other site-based family engagement meetings. And as we continue to look at components 7 through 12, we're excited to share that our foundation of family engagement is very strong. We have strong relationships, working environments, and multiple ways families can communicate with our schools and be a process in that. However, there is clear improvement focus and consistency that parents are asking for. We have structures in place, but the next step is making family engagement more inclusive, more accessible, and just quite frankly, easier for our parents. And I'll give you an example of one of the comments that a few parents left during our surveys is they would like to have more teacher, student, teacher, family, parent meetings system-wide. Several of our schools do this extremely well. Other schools, it's a great opportunity for growth. And that's why we have initial implementation on a few of those categories. Priority 6 is our school climate response trends. And in my opinion, the survey results are one of the most important tells on how our district is doing. And we are required to give a survey once every 2 years. We do it every year. We want to make sure every student has multiple opportunities to give us their input. And this, in the analogy of the house, this is the temperature, safety, and feeling you have when you're inside that house. You could have a beautiful mansion, you could have it, looking great, but if the student's inside, they don't feel comfortable, it's too cold, too warm, they don't like the color of the walls, the learning is not going to be happen the best way it could be. So if you look at year over year, we're excited that from last year to this year, we have seen 1,000 more responses year over year. We see positive trends on student participation, even though we are seeing a slight decrease in enrollment. Parents or guardians have seen a very substantial increase year over year. And employees, we do notice that there is a consistency change year over year. And one of the things is we offer a lot of our staff multiple surveys, and we understand there might be some survey fatigue. But that is one area we want to ensure that we have all our employees having the opportunity to give these surveys. But we're still looking about 40 to 45% of our employees participating in the survey. So the results are very exciting. At a glance, 7 of 9 measures improved, 1 stayed the same, and 1 declined. The surveys that we looked at are expectations from an adult, having caring adult relationships on campus, do you feel safe at school, do you have resources to be successful, is technology a regular part of your education, is your school clean and well maintained, can I communicate easily with the sites, participation in activity club programs, and are you proud of your school? Year over year, we see very, very positive gains. And when we really dig deep into these gains, we see that the 2025 results, 2026 results show that technology remained the highest at 96%. School pride is improving. Resources to be successful is very high. We have caring adult relationships at 90%, and expectations reached 89% and 88% with communication respectively. The largest growth, however, is in our safety, rising from 72% to 81% of students feeling safe. 9% gain. And we feel that these results reflect the board's continued investment in our safety and opportunities that our students have. However, we do know that there are areas for growth. Facility remains one of the areas, the lower areas at 63%. We do see a gain, but we understand with the the bond, we're hoping to see some improvement in the next coming years. Bathroom and sports facilities were the common concern among our students. Also, participation in activities, clubs, programs, it's still 71%, which is 7 out of 10 students participate, which is good, but until we get 80, 90, 100%, we're still going to be working to those goals. So bottom line, we are seeing an increase in climate across our campus. And our last local indicator is access to a broad course of study. So think of this as the house is finished. What is the usable space we have in our house? Are students only confined to using one room, or can they utilize the entire space? Can they have access to all of the opportunities that house has to offer? So what we did is we looked at all the areas of programs that we have, including CTE, our special education program, our English learning development program, and we tracked and see to make sure that they have the opportunity to be successful. We are excited that we have reclassified 412 English learner students, as well as it really worked with our students with special needs to offer alternative pathways for diploma, so all of our students have opportunities. So our goals for the future are instructional model implementation, programs as promised, expanded SEL, college and career, and increased student engagement across a diverse range of services. So every student will have an opportunity to engage in any courses that they wish to participate with the supports to be successful. So I am very happy to report that we have met all of our local indicators, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Any comments or questions from the board?
Is it possible to get a copy of that survey that you sent out?
Yes, I have a very detailed presentation that, the survey itself or the results?
The survey itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have that to you ASAP.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Great presentation.
Thank you. A lot of information to consume.
You addressed it a little bit, but for page 12, or areas for growth, 71% for participation in activities, clubs, programs, or sports. Why do you think that we're not at 80 or 90? This is curious to me.
You know, some sites showed higher participation than other sites. The highest site was, I believe, Highland High School, which was 85% of their students. And some of the sites, Little Rock actually had one of the lower ones, and we attribute that to the transportation. Because not all students might not be able to stay after school, but Little Rock did show tremendous growth year over year. Marketing the clubs, you know, there's a lot of opportunities for students. We understand not all students might want to be an athlete, they might not want to participate in visual or performing arts, but we are looking for ways to get them involved, because an involved student is a successful student.
And then do you define activities, clubs, programs, or sports? Like, do you have the breakdown of what?
Not in the survey.
Okay, so it's very general for
just
them.
general.
They interpret it as they do.
Exactly.
Okay.
So maybe some clarity would help.
Okay, thank you.
The next presentation is for the academies of the Antelope Valley. It is pretty much very similar. We met all our goals. I know you have the presentation. Would you like me to go through that? It's pretty much tell the same story.
No, I think if it's aligned, we can look at this on our own, and then if we have questions, we can bring it back. If that's okay.
Yeah,
Great.
please. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Great. Thank you. All right. C. Desert Sands Public Charter High School Annual Written Report. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees receive the annual written charter school report. We have received it. All right. D. Antelope Valley Schools Transportation AVSTA Reporter Update. Mr. Bensko.
Good morning, or actually it's good noon. It's good afternoon now. There is nothing to report, but thanks to all the staff and drivers. I know we're done with school, but appreciate all their efforts throughout the school year to get our kids to school safe. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, E from ABTA, Michael Millings, or in lieu of, anything from ABTA? Nope, okay. F from CSEA, Cynthia Hausman. Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, members of the board and cabinet. I want to thank you all, first of all, for your support for the last 6 months as the new president of CSEA. I think that I've enjoyed our collaborative relationship, and we're really producing some positive results, I think, as we're moving forward, and I look forward to the continued success of all of us. So now to wrap up this year, we had some few things to go. We'll have an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, that is on this agenda. It passed in our last chapter meeting with a 5-to-1 yes vote, so it was very much, I think it was what our members were looking for, so it did pass. Job reclassifications, we had a follow-up meeting last week where we were able to identify some positions that will now be considered, and now we're going into the negotiation portion of it. So we are moving forward on that one as well. I also am really looking forward to the independent review that is now starting for, I think Business Services is the initial one that they're starting with in that department, and hope that that just continues with department after department, because I think it's necessary to kind of keep us competitive with other school districts. Also, we finalized our negotiation sunshine articles. Those are also on the agenda. Salary, Appendix A, health and insurance. We also included vacation, and leave provisions will be the topics that we're going to negotiate. And we hope that if there's any other small ones that we'll also negotiate on. My final thing is that my good story. Last week, Shar Evans, who's the librarian at Eastside High School, sent me a very emotional and passionate email about staff being told, classified staff being told that they would not be able to be on the field with the students. I reached out to some of our cabinet members who were immediately on it, because in my 20 years with this district, that's never been the case, and was told they were immediately going to work out. It ended up being a miscommunication. However, a story came out of it. I've worked with Shar at Eastside several years ago, and this is only one example of her love and dedication to our students. I want to read you her email. I'm going to try to get through it without crying, because it's a little... So she initially was not going to go to the graduation. She always does. Now she can go. So the next morning she emails and says, "Oh my gosh, let me tell you what happened to me last night. God works in mysterious ways. One of my favorite foster girls was there all alone last night. I walked in and my girl screams, 'Mrs. E,' and she starts tearing up. She proceeds to tell me how she had to get her cap and gown, sash, and decorate everything on her own, but mostly how she was all alone there and how the foster parents couldn't be bothered to come to her graduation. She cried in my arms, fell to the floor, and told me she was all alone. She told me she had no one to cheer for her when her name was called out. I immediately told her that's not true. You do know how hard I fought to be here with you today. I am your family. All of Eastside is your family. We got your back when no one else will. You are forever an Eastside girl. We take care of our own. I love you, girl, and that's why I'm here to support and honor you. Now let's go get you across the stage." So many tears, and even at the end of the night, the foster parents could not even bother to pick her up. The neighbor, luckily enough, took her back home. I just want to tell you that if this is not why we do some of the things, then I don't know. I just don't know. I literally fought for kids like that, so she wouldn't be shaking and afraid out there all alone. The best part of the story is that while I was sitting in the back of the kids on the grass, watching them all receive their diplomas, when I had convinced both sides of the sitting teachers to please get up and celebrate this child that doesn't have anybody but us today. We are her family today because the Fosters dropped the ball. Can you help me? Ladies, they all did so. So from the absolute bottom of my heart, we made her day with over 500 students cheering her on. And that is one thing I will never forget. So I wish you all a great summer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that story. All right, G, public comments from the floor for agendized items. Are there any comments from the public on agendized items?
Yes, we have one.
The public is invited to address the board of any agenda item. To address an item on the agenda, please fill out a speaker form and give it to the designee before the board president announces this item. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and the total time for public input shall be limited to 20 minutes. Only one person is permitted to stand at the podium at a time. No speaker may relinquish a time allotment to another speaker. During public comments, the board listens to concerns or issues. The board may ask questions for purposes of clarification. The law prohibits the board from entering into, sorry, I was using the screen, into a dialogue with the public or taking action on items not on the agenda. All right, Stephanie Robeson for 8E, AVUHSD, CSCA collective bargaining, the MOU regarding the workdays. Welcome, Ms. Robeson.
Good afternoon, Board and Cabinet members. I am speaking today about Board Agenda Item 8E, AVUHSD/CSEA Collective Bargaining MOU regarding workdays. I noticed that the CSEA approved work calendars for 216-day and 238-day employees are not attached to this Board Agenda item. Could you please clarify if approval of the MOU constitutes formal approval of these calendars despite them not being included? I hope the official board-approved calendars will be shared with classified employees shortly. Thank you for your consideration. It's really hard to follow Cindy.
I know.
But thank you.
Thank you. Can we get clarification on that?
Yes, absolutely. There is an email drafted that will include the work calendars. They are not negotiated. Those are set by the district, and that's why they're not attached to the MOU. The MOU dictates how those calendars will be set up, but not the specific dates. But pending board approval, that email will go out shortly after.
Thank you for the clarification. All right. H, public comments from the floor for non-agendized items. Are there any comments from the public for non-agendized items? The public is invited to address the board on any matter not on the agenda that is within the jurisdiction of the board. To address an item not on the agenda, speaker forms must be given to the designee before the board president announces the item. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and the total time for public input shall be limited to 20 minutes. Only one person is permitted to stand at the podium at a time. No speaker may relinquish a time allotment to another speaker. During public comments, the board listens to concerns or issues. The board may ask questions for purposes of clarification. The law prohibits the board from entering into a dialogue with the public or taking action on items not on the agenda. Nando Pineda for the MARRC building. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and happy summer, everybody. We're out of a great school year. It's amazing. So I'm here to talk about the MARC building at the fairgrounds, that amazing building that's getting built. It's getting a lot of criticism right now, but the building is not just a building. It's a center for community. It's a center for our district that's vital for this district. So when I look at this building, I don't see a building, I see a possibility. I recently was at our 2026 graduations that were held outside, and let's be honest, it was hot, it was windy, it was something. Sometimes the weather takes away from the moments that should be about celebrating students and their achievement. So imagine having a large indoor space right now here in the Antelope Valley for graduations, proms, ceremonies, student events where families can actually enjoy the moment, that are enjoying comfortably, enjoying it where they don't have to worry about the weather. So to be honest, what excites me the most is about what this means for our special education community. I work in special education every day, and I know how often programs are limited by space, by resources. Imagine larger Best Buddies events. Imagine larger special education proms, transition fairs, inclusion events, where disabilities can be celebrated and supported at this building. So no matter the criticism, our community should look at the effect of what good it's doing. And so I support the district 100% for supporting the Mark building. It's amazing for our district. This building could be just more than a building. It could be a place for students, families, and inclusion and community. Thank you, and have a good rest of your summer.
Thank you.
I'll do a little comment on that. Just so you understand it, a lot of that was politics geared at me, and $10 million that I gave my wife, supposedly, from the school district to the fairgrounds. So I think it's going to go away because I think the public is actually starting to understand how great of an event center that is going to be for our kids. And one of the things, Greg and I just did a tour of a public member along with Dan Jacobs, and he had a lot of questions, and they were answered. And at the end of the presentation, he was like, this is a great thing. And I explained to him that out of everybody that participating in that facility, I think our district is going to, we have the best agreement. Mr. Nehan negotiated the use agreement. I think he did a phenomenal job, and I think we are going to get the best bang for our buck. I just want to reiterate that when we start talking about the investment that this district did for our children and our staff and everybody for that building, I want you guys to understand our budget. When we invested $10 million, it was over a 30-year period, correct, Mr. Nehan, 30 years? Correct. Okay, so if you look at our budget of a $400 million budget, you do the math. I'm not the greatest math student, but I can tell you it's about a 12 billion. Am I right about 12 billion? 400 million times 30? Okay, $12 billion. So we have a $10 million investment into a $12 billion budget. And what we get out of that, and you're right, you're going to get your proms, you're going to get your graduations, and I attended some graduations, and they were hot and windy. How about you guys? Same thing? But like the Best Buddy stuff is amazing. I never even thought about that. That's even a great thing. We have all kinds of access to that building. And not even that, you get also the LPAC for your vision of this district and the arts. We have access because we're partnering with the city of Lancaster. So just to say it's politics, hopefully that politics is gone. But I still think, Greg, we should potentially maybe let's put together something, if it's okay with the board, if we could put something together, kind of highlight how much use that we anticipate that building generating for our district. So, thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. All right, that was our only comment. So we're going to move to 7 educational services action items. A, review proposed revisions to board policies, administrative regulations, and exhibits. First reader discussion. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees review proposed revisions to BPARE. First read discussion. And we have done that. I definitely did that. 6 pages worth of questions and clarification needed. All right, B, adoption of 2026-27 Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP, for the AVUHSD. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees adopt the 2026-27 LCAP for AVUHSD. May I get a motion? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? I thank you again, and the presentation on Friday was very clear and helpful, and then over the weekend I was able to go and dig in a little deeper. So just overall discussion, we're doing amazing things, and I know this is the 3rd year of the cycle, correct? And we are doing fantastic work here at our district. And of course, there's always room for improvement, and in the LCAP, those are also noted. And really, this is about strengthening the district's visibility of what great things we're doing and just keeping an eye on it. So I just wanted to thank the whole team for the work and for the documents. All right. Can I have a vote, please? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, seeing none, passes. C, adoption adoption of 2026-27 LCAP for the Academies of the Antelope Valley. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees adopt 2026-27 LCAP for the Academies of the Antelope Valley, AAV. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Same comments from the earlier one. Thank you for all the work, clarity. It's wonderful. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Okay, 8, human resources action items. A, open, conduct, and close public hearing. Public hearing for the California School Employees Association's initial proposal for negotiations to the collective bargaining unit agreement with the AVUHSD for the 2026-27 school year. The board will open public hearing at 12:17 p.m. Are there any comments from the staff or board? Ms. Ramos?
Yes, we are excited to kick off this season with CSEA. As Ms. Hausman shared, CSEA is sunshining Articles 2 for salary, Article 3 for health and welfare, Article 5 for vacation, and Article 10 for leave.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, are there any comments from the public?
Don't have any speaker cards?
Okay. Closing the public hearing at 12:17. B, acknowledge receipt of the CSEA's initial proposal for negotiations to the collective bargaining unit agreement with the AVUHSD for the 2026-27 school year. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees acknowledge receipt of the CSEA's initial proposal for negotiations to the collective bargaining unit agreement with the AVUHSD for 2026-27 school year. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Nope. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Motion passes. C, open, conduct, and close public hearing. Public hearing for the AVUHSD's initial proposal for negotiations to the CSEA collective bargaining unit agreement for the 2026-27 school year. The board will open the hearing at 12:18 p.m. Are there any comments from the staff or board? Ms. Ramos?
Yes, the district shares in the interest in opening Articles 2, 3, and 5, that's salary, health and welfare, and vacation, and the district has opened Article 12 on the transfer policy.
Thank you. Any other staff or board? Nope. Okay. Are there any comments from the public?
No speaker cards at this time?
We have one. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Lisa Beal. Quick question for CSEA. The contract was up in 2026, right? So shouldn't the whole contract be open for review?
These were the articles that the district and CSEA are interested in opening this year.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. D, acknowledge receipt of the AVUHSD's initial proposal for negotiations to the CSEA's collective bargaining unit agreement for the 26-27 school year. It is recommended, oh, I forgot to close the public hearing. Sorry. Public hearing closed at 12:19. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees acknowledge receipt of the Antelope Valley Union High School District's initial proposal for negotiations to the collective bargaining unit agreement with the California School Employees Association for the 2026-27 school year. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? Any discussion? No? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. E, AVUHSD/CSEA collective bargaining MOU regarding work days. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the agreement with CSEA as presented. F period classified management 2026-27 salary schedules. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Nope. All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nope. All right. Motion passes. F, classified management 2026-27 salary schedules. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the classified management 2026-27 salary schedule as presented. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, no discussion. discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. G, approval of subsequent variable term waiver administrative services. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve and direct the Assistant Superintendent of HR to submit a subsequent administrative services variable term waiver to allow this individual to work as vice principal. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. H, approval of subsequent variable term waiver, speech language pathology services. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve and direct the Assistant Superintendent of HR to submit a subsequent variable term waiver to allow this individual to work as a speech language pathologist. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. All right, motion passes. I, approve amendment to employment agreement for superintendent. Pursuant, reporting compensation government code section 54953C3. Pursuant to government code section 54953 subdivision C3, the board provides this oral summary of the salary and/or fringe benefit increase recommendation for the superintendent. The amended employment contract between the district and the superintendent, Greg Meehan. The new salary to be paid to the executive, $359,582. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve this contract amendment for Superintendent Greg Meehan. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
I'll give that to Rosemary.
Any discussion? Thank you for all of your very, very hard work, Mr. Meehan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes. All right, moving on to 9 business services action items. A, adoption of 2026-27 budget. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees adopt the 2026-27 budget as presented. May I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you, Mr. Vensko, for the very clear presentation last week. Helped me at least understand, get a much bigger, better understanding, I should say. So thank you, and your team. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. B, adopt resolution number 2025-2643, temporary loan transfer between district funds fiscal year 26-27. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees adopt resolution number 2025-2643, authorizing temporary loan transfers between district funds for the fiscal year 2026-27. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. C, adopt resolution number 2025-2644, resolution of the Board of Trustees of the AVUHSD regarding committed fund balance. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees adopt resolution number 2025-2644 to commit funds for the prescribed purposes. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. D, adopt resolution number 2025-2645, approval of the Education Protection Account, EPA, spending determination for fiscal year 2026-27. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees adopt resolution number 2025-2645 regarding the EPA spending determination for fiscal year 2026-27. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. E, adopt resolution number 2025-2646, interfund transfer of funds fiscal year 2026-27. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees adopt resolution number 2025-2646, authorizing interfund transfer of funds for the fiscal year 2026-27 as presented. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion passes. F, approve agreement with Relevant IT for Verkada Vape Sensor Pilot Program via CMAS agreement. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve entering into a contract with Relevant IT for the procurement and installation of the Verkada Vape Sensor Pilot Program at AV High School and Courts Hill High School, utilizing the CMAS agreement, and authorize the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services to sign all related documents. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? I just want to add and let the board know the goal is to have this installed by first day of school. So in the summer will be work, correct, Mr. Nehan?
So it's gonna be a short, kind of, let's try it out.
Yes,
And then,
All right,
hopefully, it's sad to say that we have to do that, but
yeah, definitely. But AV and Courts Hill were chosen for specific reasons, so. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. G, approve contract for DSA Inspector of Record Services with 3K Building Services Incorporated for Community Day School South Campus SOAR High School Interim Housing Project. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve an agreement between the district and 3K Building Services Incorporated for DSA Inspector of Record Services for the Community Day School South Campus SOAR Palmdale Interim Housing Project at an amount not to exceed $23,560. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. H, approve agreement for CEQA, Compliance Consulting Services for Bond Program with Trinity Consultants Incorporated. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve an agreement between the district and Trinity Consultants, Inc. for a duration of 5 years for as-needed California Environmental Quality Act compliance consulting services for bond program projects. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Aye. Approval of authority to execute construction contracts not to exceed $325,000. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services to execute construction contracts not to exceed $325,000 to expedite construction projects. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Little discussion. So, what is our community workforce agreement limit? Are these all within the community workforce agreement? Okay, so these will all be within the community workforce agreement?
Correct. These will be
Miguel's not here,
governed
so I
by
gotta speak up for him.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you very much.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, seeing none. J, approve new labor compliance consulting services pool for Measure ABH bond program. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve a pool of 5 firms for as-needed labor compliance services for a duration of 5 years. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes.
Madam President, before you read item 10, I'd like to ask that we pull items 11C and 11W. We can bring those back at a later date.
So pulled.
And 11W?
11C and 11W. They will be coming back later dates. Okay. 10, approve consent agenda. A, approve items listed in the following consent agenda categories: educational services, student services, human resources, business services, and administrative services. Actions proposed for the consent agenda are items consistent with adopted policies and approved practices of the district and are deemed routine in nature. The board will be asked to approve all of the items in the consent agenda by a single vote unless any member of the board asks that an item be removed for the consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the items listed in the following consent agenda categories: educational services, student services, human resources, business services, and administrative services as presented. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
So can I, discussion only for donations. The 12H, so 12H, discussion only, and donations is 14A and 14B. Okay, so we're discussing. I just was curious about 12H, the Daybreak Medical PC, the virtual counseling. I just was curious if there's more info on that you could give me.
Provide
Oh, great.
some info. We have a number of the students that receive this service. We contract with or have in the past that allow students to have that need more intensive counseling services. And so Daybreak provides virtual counseling services, up to 12 sessions for students and their families. And those services are provided by a licensed clinical social worker or a licensed mental health therapist. And so we have seen increase in those services. The 24-25 school year, we had 571 students who received services, and this past school year, it increased to 724 students. So we have a number of students who are actively using the services, and if they need to use the services here, we provide the support through our social workers, or they can receive the services at home.
Okay, and this is just for SPED identified?
All students.
All students,
All
okay.
students.
Great. The cost was $235, I just wanted to know what.
Yes,
and
it's
if it was
open
new
to
or
all
old.
students.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you. And then 14A donations, again, thank you to all of our donors in the community. The list was long, and it was really great that the community donates to the high school district. And then 14B, this was just a discussion item for the board with the completion of all of the theatrical lighting and audio visual. I just wanted to say what an amazing impact we've made. $3.4 million has been invested in our spaces, the performing arts and community gathering spaces for those lights and audiovisual solutions. And you could just see the students, at least when I've gone to them, how happy and excited they are, and they're learning 21st century industry standard technology. So I just wanted to call that out. All right. Was there anything else? Nope. Okay. Then with that said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Consent agenda items passed. All right. 16 from the board or superintendent. Mr. Nehan.
Thank you. All right, school's out for summer. To the class of 26, congratulations, and go out and change the world for the better. That's your charge for every single one of you. Thank you to staff, the staff in this building, the staff at all of our sites for an incredibly successful school year. Everybody thinks that schools and DOs close for the summer. This is when the real work happens with our teachers, with our support staff, getting ready for the beginning of the school year. But I encourage you all to take some time for yourselves and your families to kind of rest and recharge, because we have a lot of work to do next year. And then to the board, I just want to say thank you. If you had asked me 3.5 years ago if I thought that we would have the momentum today that we have, I would have thought you were out of your mind. So thanks for your leadership, your vision, your guidance, support, and partnership. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Nehan. Mrs. Mann?
Well, congratulations, we made it out another year. Just a couple of shout outs and thank yous. I went to 2 senior awards. They were amazing. It was amazing to see that there was a student at Little Rock High School that actually reached a 5.0. I was so proud of him, and he's going to UCLA, by the way. Thank you to, I want to get this right, Dr. Joe Morgan Kim, Dr. Tepper, Mrs. Tammy Nichols, Mrs. Lisa Schmidt, for having me at your graduations, making me feel welcome. Thank you to all the vice principals. Everything was beautiful. I had a great experience. I loved the kids from last year to this year. Last year I only went to 1 graduation, and compared to this year, The handshakes were strong. The eye contact was spot on for me. The kids were excited. They were happy. Had a couple of special education kids that I was able to shake hands with, and they looked at me, and they were just from all over. So thank you, very heartfelt thank you. Mrs. Hausman, thank you for the letter. It really brings it back home. It makes me know why I'm up here, why I ran, and I want to continue to make a difference to as many kids possible. And I want to thank everybody from the custodians to the administrators to the cabinets, all of you, amazing. So let's keep the momentum going. Have a good summer.
Mr. Hughes?
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Nehan. I know we started this journey a few years ago, and it's kind of sad this is going to be my last year sitting on this diocese due to the fact that I got through I got through the primary. I'll be going to the general, so I will be leaving this board. But I ain't going to be leaving the board in the bigger spectrum. But I just want to say I'm very, very impressed on your leadership and what you've done. I know we've just evaluated you. I thought that was a great evaluation, and you're doing an amazing job. And I always say this, I don't think you make enough money. Every time you call me, I just chuckle because I know something's coming next that you have to explain some crazy thing that happened, and that seems like we have that a lot. So I just want to say thank you for what you do, and I couldn't think of another person. You're doing a great job, and I'm very happy with your leadership. To all the staff, you guys are truly amazing. We've put a lot of requirements, I think, in our 3 years, and especially with this new board, on you guys, and you guys just pick up the ball and you run, especially with our CTE. I can go on and on and on about how amazing I think that's going to go. I mean, if you look at some of the stuff that we've improved on, Mr. Dunn, I mean, like security, and when the kids say they feel safer, that means a lot to me, because one of my priorities to coming into this board is to enhance the security of our campuses, and I think with the leadership of Mr. Nehan and the cabinet, we've done that a lot. Matt, you've done a great job. I don't even think we've had a safety committee. I can't remember the last safety committee, but just those few safety committees that we started, it was just truly amazing, the change, and then how that transitioned to even our kids believing that they're safer, and clearly they are safer, but to actually start believing that in such a short period of time is great. I mean, all our staff. Carla, I want to say your leadership last couple of years is just truly amazing as president. I know at first you were like, can I do it? Can I do it? But not only are you doing it, you're doing it just a bang-up job. And I'm glad to serve under you in that capacity. And I always brag, I have the best board in this valley. Everybody on this diocese, even with Miguel, since he's not here, I gotta mess with him. But the thing that we all agree on, there's only one mission, and that is to take care of our students, right? That's the main goal. Then, of course, our staff and our whole team, but it's always about the kids. When we make our decisions, it's about the kids. So I'm very blessed to serve on this board with just amazing board of directors, and I hope it just continues. And I know we got some elections coming up, and I hope the constituents out there see how much this board has done for this district. I mean, with our strategic plan, with our bond, everything that we've done, it's just truly amazing to sit in, you know, the pride to sit up here and work for this district. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Mrs. Hernandez?
Yes, I wanted to take a minute as well to thank. I was able to visit some of the schools, a lot of the schools this school year, and see a lot of the work that we do actually in action, and actually be able to touch it and walk into the rooms and see the students perform on that $3.4 million upgrades that we've done in the theaters. And it's been amazing to be able to hear the feedback from the parents, from the teachers. I wanted to take a minute to thank all the speakers that come and advocate for the students and the staff. I know that public speaking is always difficult, not just for the kids, but also for the parents and the teachers and everyone that comes forward, because as a board, we need to hear you. We want to hear you, and we want the community to know that we hear you. And Greg touched on the momentum, and we're working as fast as we can.
We really are. This board is incredible. We're meeting as often as we can, in public sessions and discussing your concerns, the communities, the parents, the cabinet is also working diligently. So I just want to tell you that this particular year has been really effective in our trying to just align with the needs of the students, the parents, the staff. But we are a big group. We are a big group, but I know that we all share the same goal, and that's to make it a better place for our students. And the graduation is always a big deal because I think I have like a bunch of text messages for extra tickets. So I'm excited. I'm excited to say, yes, come on, let's go next year. So hopefully that won't be a problem. And just I wanted to thank everyone. I know it's probably going to get exhausting to hear so many thank yous, but I want you to know that you really are the real deal. The changes of the people that have come into our group, and like Cynthia Hausman and how she advocates for her people and sharing these stories. We would never get an opportunity to read or hear that email or that story. So we want to thank you, Mrs. Beal as well. I'm just we want to hear it. We want to hear it. We're all aligned. So thank you all.
Thank you. And then just finally, echoing what everyone says, but again, another heartfelt thanks to our entire district, the staff, the all of the staff, and then Mr. Nehan. Just publicly, I want to say it's been really great to work with you. If you haven't noticed, I ask a lot of questions, and I'm very critical. But we only do it to solve problems, to make things better. And I am passionate about education. I'm an educator, so that's what I feel so privileged being up here and serving with everyone. And I can't believe this academic year is over. It's not quite over for me yet, though. I still have grading to do, but it's almost going to be summer. So everyone, take a breath, self-care, because we have so much work yet to start, continue, and finish. So thank you so much. All right, 17. Here we are, closed session. Okay, we're going to jump to item 17E. May I please have a motion to approve administrative hearing panel recommendations for student expulsions and to order as presented the expulsion of 6 students?
Motion.
Second? Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. I'm just reading handwriting. Okay, so we're gonna read F through K together, but I will say during closed session, the board considered a request to waive healthy living for AVUHSD students, HW 262708, HW 262709, HW 262710, HW 262711, HW 262712, HW 262713, and HW 262714. By a vote of 4-0, the board took action to approve the requests. 17L. During the closed session, the board considered the final settlement agreement and general release, STS 26073, OAH case number 20260300122. By a vote of 4-0, the board took action to approve the agreement. Item 17M, during the closed session, the board considered claim number 260528001. By a vote of 4-0, the board took action to reject the claim. Item 17P, during closed session, the board considered 3 cases of anticipated litigation. 1, by a vote of 4-0, the board took action to approve the settlement agreement for employee number 70249. 2, by a vote of 4-0, the board took action to approve the settlement agreement for employee number 54578. By a vote of 4-0, the board took action to approve the settlement agreement for employee number 73144. All right, it is recommended that the board adjourn this meeting. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good night. I mean, good afternoon. Have a good rest of your day.